So real quick, before we get into your professional accomplishments, I want people to get to know who you are. So without mentioning your professional accomplishments, who would you say John Clark is?
Oh man, well, I am a military brat who has lived all over the world. So I think that's probably one of the big reasons why I really do love everybody. I kind of only I judge people on two things. You're either good or you're bad. Other than that, man, I don't care what you do at home. I don't care where you pray. I don't care what color you are. You just got to be a good person or a bad person, man. I can handle you either way. I just much rather be the good side, of course, and so we can all stay positive and lovely and help each other. But moved every 3 years, my entire life. Started off, I was hustling since I was a little kid because we didn't come up with a bunch. My dad became an officer later on in life, but starting off, we were enlisted and moved around. And I remember my first hustling or first sales sort of starting off was my brother and I looming, pot holders together. Like I was 6 and he was 4. My mom had this thing. We did it. And then we went door to door and literally cold call and sold those suckers on base. And then it went from there to lawnmowers, and then from there to babysitting because, well, first of all, it was babysitting class with nothing but chicks, and it was my brother and I, so we loved it. Oh, guys make fun of you all you want, but all the pretty girls were in this class. And my mom and dad went out every Friday night to the Officers Club or the NCO Club back in the day, and all their friends would have us babysitting anyway. So then now we got a little, 5, 6, $10 an hour, whatever it was back in the day to do that. So started off, we've always kind of worked for what we've had and try to the same kind of lesson I'm trying to give my son, although he's got a much easier life than I do, only because of the work that my wife and I put in prior to having him, of course. We wanted to make sure we kind of set him up a little different than maybe our experience, of course, and that's what all parents are looking to do, I'm sure. But still, I still need to instill in him the I don't know, a lot of what I've had growing up, which was discipline and looking out for other people and things like that. So I don't know. I think I'm an overall, to answer your question, I try to trim it down a little bit. From traveling all over, I just respect and love everybody. I want to learn about everybody. I'm a sales nut, as in I've researched sales my entire life, through my jobs and just going out and trying to find additional information to always help. So I'm kind of geared to be the guy. I just like helping people, man. It sounds so cliche because that's what all real estate people say. I love helping people. It's really not like that.
I completely understand.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. Like to this day, well, I've been with my wife on the 18th of this month will be for 25 years. We've been together. I kissed her June 18th, 1998. Been with her every day since.
That's
my
awesome.
son still sees me open doors for that woman. My son sees me doing dishes and cleaning and stuff all the time and because there's no roles. You know what I'm saying? The goal for me is for my son to understand that you got to be an independent person, but you also have to be able to work with other people and hopefully he sees Team Clark all the time, his mom, and sees me respect his mother and sees the way I talk to her and treat her and look out for her. That's all I want, man. End of the day, this what we do now is quite literally the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. It's literally the easiest thing. Real estate is the easiest thing I've ever done in my whole life. It's just you have to do the work. Right. That's literally it. But the job itself is cake. So it's kind of I don't know, man. Everything brought me here. This is exactly where I need to be.
That's awesome. I love it. Let me touch on, stay on this topic for a second and kind of lessons to your son. I used to ask people, in initial interviews back in the day, what are 3 things you would want to pass off to your kids? 3 lessons, right? And I think it tells a lot about a person, about the lessons that they want to pass on, right, to their kids. So what would be 3 lessons, 3 things you would want to pass on to your son?
Well, one for a fact, loyalty is everything. And I just had a talk with him and his buddies the other day because they're about to go into high school, like 9th grade. And in junior high, you're super tight and all is good in the world. And then you go to ninth grade or you go to high school, and now you're going to have older people that get your attention too, that you want to be hip to or cool with. And my son's an AAU basketball player. He looks like his mom, talks like me. Like, dude, we're screwed. I mean, like, in the long run, I'm in trouble. But this kid, when he goes up, I'm just like, that's the talks you need to have with your friends, man. If that's your boys, like my best friends in the whole world are still that guy from 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like those were the bonds, but things happen in your next year. So loyalty is huge. And that's also with a woman, or anybody, your friends, anybody at all, your job. You know, it's my thing is to always tell another one, be truthful. But that kind of coincides with this is like when I've told him when it comes, he's with one girl right now, which is crazy. At seventh or eighth grade, he's been with the same young lady for, for the whole eighth grade year for one young lady, beautiful young girl, plays sports like he does, smart. We love her family. Everything's beautiful. And he treats her like gold. And I love it. And it's a really nice thing to see. But I told him, I was like, the only thing that matters later is if something ever was to transpire, you guys, because you're going into high school and weird things are going to happen. And she's going to get a lot more attention too. And, you know, and you might feel jealous. And just be honest. Always be honest. It's better to say, hey, look, I kind of am interested in somebody else right now. I know that hurts, but I'd rather tell you that than you find out that I messed around with this girl behind your back. Now I'm a lying piece of, you know what? And then that spreads too, as opposed to being the honest guy that's, you know, a little abrasive maybe when you tell somebody that, or they just don't like it. But so that's kind of it. I think loyalty, honesty, and looking out for other people, man. I don't know why that's a big one for me. I've never been bullied my whole life, but I've handled quite a few of them. I don't like that at all. And it turns me into another human being because I'm a really, really nice person. And I see that stuff, man. And I turn into somebody who's going to catch a felony. And it's not because I can't watch another hurt person mess with somebody that can't help it or make fun of somebody that can't help something. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in the 80s, man. I can make fun of anybody, but I make fun of myself more than anybody. And I can clown people as a joke if we're all in on the same thing.
Right.
But just for someone picking people out and doing stuff like that, boy, it turns me into somebody I don't like to be, but there has to be people out there like that, unfortunately, because if not, these knuckleheads will continue, and we can't have that. So anyway, I think that's it, man. Just be a good human. That's overall the big thing is don't be a dick. Be a good guy.
Sure. No, I love it, man. I love everything I'm hearing. What did you do before real estate professionally?
Well, couple small things right before, but the main thing I did, I was #1 in the world for a multi-billion-dollar document destruction company called Shred-it. And it was the year. So I worked outside sales for 8 years with that company. Then we got a manager from our sworn enemy, Cintas, who he was a general's son, funny enough, entitled POS, and just didn't know how to manage, was very micromanaging people that actually closed deals and did really well. And so I bounced. And then I came back 2 years later because a good manager came in and kept hearing everything about me and actually came and found me and said, yo, he's gone. I'm here. Heard a lot about you from everybody. Would love to have you back. Let me tell you what the changes we made for the service side of things. So I know you were kind of upset that, you know, what you were selling wasn't delivered sometimes. And so he goes, it's changed. And I came back and I spent, let's see, it was 2 years in that position. And I started February 1st. So in January, when he came to me, after I agreed to the position, I called the top 10 people in the world because we're on 3 continents, and I called the top 10 people in the entire world for that position and said, what did you do like last year to be in the top 10? And every one of them told me the same damn thing. Make one more phone call, you know, crap like that. I'm like, dude, I've been in sales since Moby Dick was a minnow, son. I'm like, give me the juice. Give me something good. I didn't call you for make more phone call. I mean, God bless America. So anyway, I started February 1st. I told them I'd see them at the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, I was 197% of my goal. Number 2 was 131%. And they all had a month longer than I did. So funny enough, that next year, all 140 people called me. What the hell did you do last year? Including those top 10. And the difference between me and them is I believe that there's enough for everybody. And I think that there's enough room on top for everybody. And I'm not scared of anybody. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Your dream to be the #1 person in your state is not my dream. My dream is to spend as much time with my wife and kid as humanly possible. Literally. That's all I want. So, and I get paid. So because because of my attitude and the way I've looked at things, I don't do this for a check. And so more checks come in. It's stupid. It's weird how that works. Like when you actually give about the end result and you care about getting to that point and you don't look at the other stuff it just ends up bringing you to the right spot and the right people see you, the right things start happening. At least that's what's happened with me. I started off real suspect back in the day, man. I mean, believe me, I quit doing some really, really, really bad about 7 years ago, cold turkey, everything, liquor, drugs, cigarettes, all in one. I just looked in the mirror one day and said, you're a contradicting piece of you tell everybody, you help build people up all day long. And then you go home and you're partying and you're doing this crap and behind your wife's back, not with women, drugs and stupid stuff behind her back. And knowing she's calling me out, I'm making her feel crazy, dumb stuff that you would I never wanted to do that. And so I looked in the mirror and I called myself out, man. It was the funny thing. This is something I would do to you as my boy if I saw you living one way and talking another, right? I would definitely come up to you and be like, yo, don't be a punk like that. And I finally said it to myself, man. And I chewed on my damn lip for about 3 weeks, cheats and stuff. Like I was hating life. But after that, I'll never go back. And all I do is get up now at 4 a.m. in the morning, try to motivate the hell out of you, maybe make you giggle a couple times throughout the day and help people. And that now new mentality has got me more free time, more money, and more love from people. So it's weird, man, but it's definitely wasn't a bad decision. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, so I love the perspective, and you said a few things there that I want to kind of get back to. First, I love the perspective of just wanting to spend the most time with your wife and child, right? Like that's what's most important, right? Like all the other stuff are not as important. Yeah, you do them, but at the end of the day, that's what's important. And I also love is it's about helping people, right? Not being focused on the transaction amount or the deal amount or the check that comes from behind it. Just kind of do the work, as you said earlier, right? And those things, be genuine, help people, and those things will come. Um, Last thing I'll touch on when you said there was kind of looking yourself in the mirror, and that's a form of accountability, right? It's self accountability, and accountability is something I've been kind of observing even a lot more recently in real estate, and we don't really have that in our industry, right? Like as the nature of our industry, independent contractors, also right now everybody working from home, we don't really have a lot of accountability. How do you kind of instill accountability in your day, in your life, as a real estate professional?
Honestly, man, everything goes back to discipline. It doesn't matter whether I want to do this shit or not today. I'm doing it. I have to. There's no so if I don't get up and do this, I've had jobs where I was always at the job, right? 8 to 5, 8 to whatever. And then I was outside sales guy. That was some cool freedom. But then you can see that can go one or two ways. If you keep it's like this job. Luckily, I had structure from being a corporate sales assassin. I'm gonna call myself, honestly, because I was a bad dude. No, I'm joking. I loved that type of sale, like getting on the phone with a CFO or CEO of a big organization and them trying to strong arm you or something because of their position, and then you putting them together based on the information that you have that's going to better their company, and then getting them to flip their stuff and turn it around, and then you change something in an organization. Like, dude, that was huge. But then all that was constant follow-up. Like, I make a call to you, we have a conversation. My memory sucks, bro. I can't remember what I did yesterday. So I put it in the CRM. Had a wonderful conversation with, Jeremy today. He told me I can't follow up for a couple of weeks because him and his wife are planning their son's wedding. And as soon as that's over, he'll be free. And so what do? I put it in with notes. I put a follow-up. I follow back up in 2 weeks. Said, Jeremy, man, how was that wedding, bro? How was it? Did it go off? Oh my God, my wife was ecstatic. My kid looked great. We love her. So, trip was awesome, man. Thank you so much for holding out and waiting. By the way, hell yeah, I'll take that. Whatever that. It's just, and I've had a number of those things. And so I know everybody in sales cries and fights and bitches and makes memes all day long about filling in the CRM at the end of the day. Dude, if you're an idiot if you're doing it at the end of the day anyway. In my opinion, you should be doing it as you go. Unless, of course, you're taking notes and you're on the road and you come back. I get that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean everybody's an idiot. But if you're sitting there, you don't wait. You do it on spot. You set up the next thing. You move on. So taking that sort of a vibe and that sort of a work ethic and structure of my business from that over to here, man, we're literally battling 75% of the people that we are considered competitors are soccer moms and weekend warriors. No offense,
Right.
But almost every time somebody sends me an offer or something, I just look at LinkedIn real quick. And if I don't find them there, I know I'm about to eat their lunch. And if they are there, I find out real quick what kind of person they are anyway. And if I'm probably going to take them to town or whatever. You know what I mean? I literally can find stuff on people. That's how I used to find who to find in the corporate world. And people, it's so funny when I talk about LinkedIn on Facebook or in different places, they're like, I don't need to be on there. I'm like, that's actually where people actually make real money. That's where you want to actually find people because they have jobs, typically, most of them. And then, so the leads I get from there, I just had a listing close last Friday that came from LinkedIn. She was like, I just like your vibe. And it worked out really cool. She actually, funny enough, asked me how to sell a house without a real estate agent. Who the hell does that? Like she messaged me, said, hey, I got a buyer for my son's house. How can we do it without an agent? And I'm like, that's a funny question. Ha ha ha. But here's how you do it. Go to my girl at this title company, blah, blah, blah. Here's her contact information. And then it turns out the buyer didn't get qualified in enough time. They really wanted to sell the house. Call me back. Say, hey, would you mind listing it for me? Twist my arm, sweetheart. Let's do this. Yeah. So, but it's I could have just been like, what? Why are you gonna ask a real estate agent how to get out of the deal with the job? That's just stupid. If you can help, you help. And if something, in the back of my head, I was thinking, man, these things typically happen where the one side is full of crap. They all want it. Everybody wants a house, but Can the guy get it? Have you checked it? Is he pre-approved? I told her all these things to dig into him. So just to make it harder, and then he was sleeping on it. I even offered my loan officer to help her out, to help the homeboy out. But, yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. Hopefully, I didn't go too far off topic with that one. But
no, you're good, and then that worked. That worked well in your favor. You could have went into a lot of different sales professions, right? With your sales background, and your skill sets and all of that. Well, why real estate?
Man, you got time for a quick story?
Go ahead.
This is a crazy one. So. Let's go back a couple of years. I was in Osterman Jewelers. I was the Rolex specialist there was two people that can legally sell them in this town, Rolex, because they're, certified vendors. And I was at Osterman Jewelers and I was doing that. So a cop came in one day, wanted to buy he was a 19-year-old cop, just fresh cop. His dad had been a cop. Probably grandfather been a cop. He's from a small town, big family. They get married kind of early. He's got this pretty little blonde from the high school that he graduated with. He's wanting to get engaged. This guy, I went to go work at the jewelry store because I want to ask my girl to marry me, right, and get the discount. I'm not stupid, right? I wanted to get a good deal, and I wasn't even buying a 1 carat solitaires to start off with because I know diamonds shrink on women over time. So I wanted to be able to upgrade later. So anyway. Dude brings his girl in and she totally, I showed the ring, a 1 carat certified princess cut diamond. And the first words out of her mouth were, that's it. So I'm like the face, I'm like, oh, and I love anybody that's in civil service. Anybody's going to sign a piece of paper saying they're going to take care of people they don't know and possibly die doing it. Come on, man. You got to give them a little love, right? So I'm already pissed. Plus, I'm a romantic anyway. This made me mad. So I said, hey, why don't you go down there and take a look at those other bands and rings and see what you think? And then I took him on the side. I said, you need to drop this like a bad habit right now. Literally. And dude didn't have his gun this time, thank God. But he's like, I said, you need to drop the bad habit right now. I was like, because $8,000 is nothing compared to what she's going to cost you long term if she doesn't like hook up with your partner or something off the wall like that, bro. I'm like, and he bounced, dude. He's just like distraught, right? 2 months later, comes into my store, fully dressed, gun on this time. He's like, you're crazy as hell, right? And I'm like, been told that once or twice. And he's like, it took you to tell me about that girl for me to actually drop her. He goes, my boys have been saying that for 2 years about the kind of girl she is. He goes, so I appreciate it. I'm like, thanks for not shooting me, right? And so then fast forward 4 years. It's the night before my wedding. We're partying like a rock star. My brother's outside in the parking lot, gets caught partying like a rock star. He's getting boys run in and say, hey, man, your boy's getting cuffed. Your brother's getting cuffed. He's my best man. He's getting cuffed and been put in the car.
The night before the wedding.
I run outside real quick. I'm like, sir. Dude turns around, his homeboy. It's the guy I helped out. He's like, wow. Oh, my God. He goes, you're the dude that stopped me from making one of the worst decisions in my life. And I was like, funny you should say that. I'm doing that tomorrow. And that's my best man. I was like, and if you arrest him, this chick ain't gonna marry me, and I'm done, bro. I'm not gonna find another one like this again. So can I bring him back to the precinct tomorrow, or we beat his ass later, or whatever we gotta do? But can you please let him go for me, please? And dude uncuffed him, let him go, gave him back to me. Now, fast forward 12 years. This is only seen him once, twice, and now 12 years later, I'm in the car. I just left Shreddit, the company, because unfortunately I had went with 6 vice presidents in Chicago, got the top spot. I thought what I did that last year when I was the second year I was number 1 in the world was 270 or 267% of my goal. And that year I brought 4 people with me to President's Club that I trained out of the top 10 in the world, and got hugs right when I got off the plane by these people. And that's when I knew right then that's what I wanted to do the rest of my life, was build people up and train them and turn them into rock star, flip a switch in people, like kind of thing. So the day I pull in, they want the answer for if I'm taking the job or not. And it was supposed to be me flying to each one of these 2 branches in every state and doing basically what I've been doing, kind of like this, but in front of you, right? Training people in front and then flying home every day. Dude, these guys said, you got to let me know right now. You're going to be moving to Dallas in 3 months. And your job is to go to each one of these branches and talk these people that are doing telephone jobs to move to one of 5 regional call centers in the country, or you have to fire them. I was like, so I've been building people up for 2 years, and now I've got to tell them to move to one of 5 regional call centers, or I've got to fire them. He's like, yep. I was like, I quit, out, and I left. Went home. I was pissed. I did a couple stupid I worked at Tradesman International for a quick second. I did Allstate Insurance for, like, my buddy owns a branch, so we stay there. Not my gig. I'm pissed off one day driving with my little brother, and he goes, yo, you remember that dude that you helped out that one time, and then he helped with me that time before your wedding? He goes, well, him and his buddy worked for Keller Williams. They've been kicking butt there, and now there's this new brokerage, EXP, and they just went off and did their own thing and started this mega team for EXP. He goes, we should call him. He literally picked up the phone with the Facebook, pushed his number, and called him on the spot, and he answered the phone and goes, I was like, yo, John, it's John Clark. You remember me? He goes, dude, I've been following you on LinkedIn for 10 years, bro. He goes, what can I do for you? I was like, I'm thinking about real estate. He said, get in here immediately. So went in there and talked to him and his buddy, and they brought me all around the office, showed me the big liquor cabinet, was like, yo, check this out. I'm like, yo, not even interested anymore, brother, but that's pretty cool. And because I was already past all that now, right? And so then I went in with them, and I didn't know anything about EXP. That's not why I joined, because of all the cool stuff we've got and all the agent eccentric, blah, blah. None of that jazz had anything to do with it. I joined a person that I knew after our conversation was going to have my back. That's why I joined. And that's what everybody should join. Any brokerage that you join, that's the number one reason why you should join. None of these tools mean jack crap to me without a human being behind it that's saying, yo, man, I got you. Or this local that can teach you some stuff. We've got everything you need, but man, you've got to have a real good idea of the business already, I think, or maybe it came from somewhere else. And unless you've got a solid human being or a mentor or something that's going to walk you down the path. And that's why I've taken this real serious. When I bring people on, this is why I don't have a huge downline right now, because I've had this mental block for myself for some reason. I'm not looking at it the right way. Possibly, according to a lot of big guys that I talk to. I personally feel like just signing people up and having them, they're in California or something. I got a lot of people calling me from all over the country. Damn near every day I get somebody that calls me and asks me about social media, or how do I do this, or how do you do that, or how do you make this, or how do you do this kind of video, or blah, blah, blah. And I help anybody that ever calls me and asks me for help. And I've got a lot of people that would sign up with me, and I've told them no. Because because they're new and I can't help them there. I don't know shit about California's. I don't know their legislation there. I don't know I can show you how to stick out and bury people in a listing appointment. But I have stuff in my resume that I can go to and say, yo, you want me? Like I social media thing. Look, I don't care if anybody's been doing this for 30 years. I still get the home in front of more people than anyone in the state, period. I'm like, I can say that. You can't say that. I mean, the person I'm helping, you know what I'm saying? So I felt irresponsible by doing that. I want people here I can open a door for, I can help, I can bring them to places, show them how to do things. That's how I always looked at it. I need to open that up a little bit, and figure that out. But that's where I've been so far, and why my downline's only 6 people, because I just have people that were ballsy enough to call me and wanted to come talk to me. Which if you called me, you're nuts anyway, man. Because last chick called me, said it took me a month to call you just because I was so scared. And I'm like, me, I'm not scary. I'm a really nice guy. I'm just high energy.
Yeah, that's a big thing also in our business. People are scared to pick up that phone, whether it's another agent or to a potential buyer, potential seller. And I think fear is a big hindrance on a lot of people. Not saying that that's in your case, but in a lot of people in our industry, that's the case.
Well, it is. There's a young lady that just signed with us recently. I won't say her name, but she signed with a person I know, and she really was trying to help her, even offer to get her, some leads sent into KV Core for and everything. And she's like, I don't answer phones, or I don't do the phone calls. I'm like, but she doesn't have anything else either. She has no sphere of influence. She's got nothing. She's just a nice person who wants to sell houses. You're done. I'm sorry. You're going to be a statistic, period.
Yeah, a lot of people come in the business thinking that's I like people, I like houses.
Yeah.
This can work, but it's they don't think about where will you get business from. And when I used to teach pre-licensing, I say I challenge you before you get your license and all of that stuff. Ask yourself, where will you get business from? Because at the end of the day, if you're looking at it as a business, if you're looking to generate income from it, it has to come from somewhere, right? And it's not just going to fall in your lap. It might, right? Sometimes, and hopefully people are lined up to do business with you, but that's not the case for most people.
Well, the worst part is, especially with this last young lady, I have a team. I have Facebook leads coming in nonstop to my team, and I only got 3 people getting them right now. If they want them, I offer to say, girl, come on here. And the cool thing is, my team, I don't take their sales. I don't count their sales towards my crap. I don't make them do it in the MLS. My team is set up only so you have something that you can say is a team, Dayton home team. You can stick a sign. I've got the lock boxes. I got free leads. I got leads for you now. I'm only 25% period across the board. I'm just, and then on top of that, if you're on this team, if I post your stuff, you're going to be a lot more popular, a lot faster, way faster. I mean, because I look for things to post every single day. And if I share your stuff and say, oh my God, this is my newest teammate, she just kicked it, I go nuts when I do it. It sounds like I'm obsessed with the person when I'm dropping it because I'm showing so much love. And that's one of the things that has given me more business. Is my strategy has been, as of so far, is like when I go by and I see your picture on a frame, right? Like, I don't care who you're with. Say you were with Keller Williams instead. I don't care. If I know you're a good person, I watch you do these podcasts all the time. I like what you do by adding value to other agents in your market. Dude, I love people like that. I don't care what you got on your shirt. That don't mean a damn thing to me. So when I see your face on a sign, I stop my damn car, take a picture with it. It gets posted on Google, Facebook, and I run 6 profiles on Facebook, 3 on Instagram, 2 on Twitter, and I've got 29,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I put it in front of every one of these people. And I say, I love this person. They are badass. They do this, this, and this. They've done this for the, Stop Soldier Suicide. This guy rode with me, for this month. And all I do is say, look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him. And you know what that ends up doing? It makes everybody look at me, look at me, look at me instead. Well, because and I don't mean that in a crappy way. I mean it like people like people who aren't intimidated by that show love to everybody. I'm genuinely showing love. I like these people. Now, I'm not going to take a picture with some dude I hate and blow him up. I won't put him on there and say, yo, this guy sucks. I don't do that. I'll wait till I see you in person to talk about it. But when we're doing stuff online, all I do is positive, man. That's all I'm trying to do is show love to everybody else, because you know what also is going to happen? If it comes down to a multiple offer situation and there's 6 people, then they see John Clark pop in there and my stuff's in the mix. Don't get me wrong, money matters. But when they see my name, they know I'm going on top or I'm going to be up in the mix, because they know, 1, I like to get to the table. 2, I'm going to brag about you once we get there. And 3, I don't have very many deals go south on me because I make shit happen. I've got more people to get stuff done I'll do whatever needs to be done to get it done. It's whatever it takes, period. And so it's easier to, once you get a reputation of good business, you're not a scumbag, you have ethics, you actually love people, you show love to your family, you show love to other people. It gets out, man. And now it's really cool. And it sounds, because I'm so excited and weird. When I go out now and go to dinner with my wife around our city, dude, it's low key like crazy. Like it's cool when people come up and be like, "Yo, you're that dude that did those birthday videos on LinkedIn." I had this big ass dude hit me up at 4:30 in the morning at Speedway when I go and get coffee in the morning, right? 4:30 or 4 whenever I get up. And this big ass dude dressed real good and stuff coming. And we talked one time before. I buy every time I see somebody buying coffee, I buy their coffee. Like, so I'll be like 6 people in line, like, everybody coffee. And then I buy all of them because I used to buy these damn 3 Starbucks drinks a day. Those suckers were like $13. Now I can buy the whole line coffee and still have half that money back. So and everybody's all fired up, like, "Oh, here's a coffee guy." So now they don't even charge me for mine, which is kind of cool. But that's kind of, this guy comes in and he's like, "Hey man, good morning. What's going on?" He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "Yo, I just want to tell you something real quick." And I'm like, "Oh, he's a big dude." I'm like, "Damn, I owe money or something." And he's like, "I love what you're doing on LinkedIn, man." And he knows Andrew. I know we started off with, I think Andrew Gadosh, who's a good friend of mine, actually sold me my house. I live in the neighborhood 10 houses down from, and cool. He's a super cool cat. And he's like, "Yeah, I think Andrew sold my sister's old house in Lake Lockerigan." That's, he damn near owns that community. It's a lake community. And so I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's cool." I was like, "Yeah, he sold me my house. He sold everybody's house pretty much." And he goes, "Yo, by the way," he goes, "I just love what I'm seeing you do on LinkedIn, man." He goes, "You market yourself completely different than everyone else." He goes, "And I just wanted you to know that I see it and I think it's awesome." And I was like, dude, goosebumps. That's all, it's one thing. A lot of people try to grease you and say stuff like to try to be cool or what. I'm cool with everybody. Right. I don't know why you have to even try to do that with me, but when people like, I know this dude's successful, I know this guy's right, and when they say it, it's one thing when you say, "I saw you on TikTok," or I don't even do that. I do all funny memes on TikTok, but anywhere else they say, "Oh, I saw you this, I saw you do that," that's cool. But when you tell me that you see me on LinkedIn doing stuff, now I'm looking at you, I'm taking you real serious. Like, it's not Instagram, people buy all their followers. TikTok's a bunch of, dancing, freaking lip syncing garbage. And most of it's from people that don't actually know how to sell real estate. So, it's well, most of the ones, it's funny, man, because people like, go on these panels and stuff all the time, and you'll get somebody on there that's supposedly a social media star, right? And they're not actually, they don't sell any homes. They just, people like them because they're losing a lot of weight and shit in over a month, you know what I mean? Or a couple months. And so they feel bad for them. So they hang out. It's just, it's killing me. I don't lie to people on here. Like when they ask me, when these agents call me and they think it's the same thing about like when you join real estate, how your friends and family all buy from you and you don't need to make phone calls and all that jazz. I tell everybody straight up, they all think this social media thing, like the fact that I make 95% of my business comes from here. They think that that's like an overnight thing. Like you could post a couple of memes and call it a day. Dude, this took me 5 freaking years. And before that, I was doing it for 4 years before that in the sales arena before I switched it up. Sales is sales. We're just selling homes now. So I just switched all my stuff. My memes I was making were sales memes, and now they're all real estate memes. And so it's the same exact same thing. And so that's why, it was an easy transition to do stuff like that. But I don't lie to anybody. I'm like, yo, there's nothing I'm going to tell you on this podcast or on an hour-long phone call. The only thing I'm going to say is consistency. Every single day, every single platform, do what you say, and that'll work. Good luck.
Awesome.
That's all there is.
Yeah. John, I love everything you're about, man. And I have a lot more questions for you, but our time doesn't allow. So I'm going to give you one more question. And then I would love to have you again, if your time
I'm so sorry, brother.
You're good, man. It's a great conversation. That's a good problem to have. We ran out of time because the conversation is so good. And I love everything I'm hearing. And I think people are going to get a lot out of it. And I think there's a lot more that people can get out of it, and maybe we'll schedule another time. But, with your real estate success, what would you say if you had to boil it down to like 3 to 5 things that contributes to your success in real estate? What would you say they are?
I live by the calendar. I am consistent every single day with Ed. You hear a lot of people say it that, on Instagram and stuff, and they push the mess, but it is absolutely true. no matter how you feel, you got to get up and do it, man. I mean, it's just literally, there's no other, you are your own worst enemy.
For sure.
Okay. You either get up and do it. No one's going to, in this business, no one's going to call your ass and be like, get up, make phone calls. No, get up and do your, so, cause you can do just this too, social media, but I have time in the calendar. I'm doing this every morning. It's consistent. I make stuff and then I post it. And so consistency. I would say definitely don't be scared to call anybody that you see doing stuff that you would like to do. I've done it. I mean, I can talk big crap about how great I am at sales, right? Or how I'm really good at consultative sales, blah, blah. But I didn't know anything about real estate when I came in the job, and I can sell. That's great. But there's things that you need to know. And there's people who are really doing it really, really well. I know I'm still going to need some help, I think, on trying to figure out how to really do this team thing a little bit more efficient, in my opinion. I think I'm doing a decent job, but I know I could be doing better. I try to find the top people doing what I would like to do and see if there's any chance that we can get together and make that happen. So that's really important too. Networking. You got to show up to places. People got to see your faces. You need to shake hands, kiss babies, do whatever you got to do all day long. I carry your cards everywhere you go, talk about real estate everywhere you go. I mean, I find a way to talk about real estate literally. I mean, you don't have to do what I do with this, but I probably am the most EXP wearing agent in the entire company. I'll put my next salary up against the fact that I'm at least in the top 3, guaranteed, because half of my closet is EXP's hoodies, hats, everything. Everywhere I go, someone says, yo, what's EXP? Or, EXP. Or now it's, hey, dude, listen, right before I came to you to do this, I boned out to go get this coffee. Made it back within 2 minutes. The guy hit me up that was in the office. He goes, what you know about 10X? Ha! Don't ever ask me that. So that's what started me off the whole sales thing, right? So, but that would probably be, I think, the 5 things is, you want to definitely network, stay consistent, work a calendar, and reach out to people that are doing what you want to do. At the end, if you don't have confidence when you're talking to people or in delivering the message, you're not going to have your clients feel confident or customers feel confident enough to have you as their real estate agent. So however that looks, looking in the mirror and practicing with somebody like you, who's actually somebody I'm sure I could feel very confident role playing with and not feeling stupid or feeling like you're looking down on me, because that's what everybody worries about. When you're practicing or you ask questions, you feel like you're asking something stupid, which the only stupid thing you're doing is by not asking a question. When you don't ask a question, that's when you're being stupid, because there's more people like me and you out there, I think, that are willing to help than the jackasses that make you feel like you can't ask. So,
that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? There's, and just because they're not out there waving their hands and stuff, who's doing well. You can look around, you can see online, you can see by sales in the MLS. It's easy. And if you go to networking events, you'll see who the people that are constantly, doing things. And then you can get an idea of how maybe you want to structure your business from there.
And reach out to enough people. Maybe not all of them will respond, but some people will respond, and you'll get some great people who will give you great answers and great advice, right? And maybe great relationships as well.
Sales is a numbers game. It's no different in trying to find people to help your business. I mean, I may call you and maybe you're super helpful, but dude, you're backed up. Like you've got talks you're doing for the next week. And I'm really wanting this right now. So, but maybe by asking somebody like you say, hey, you know what? I'm a little slammed, but my buddy John, I know he'll help you out, man. Give him a call real quick. You never know the kind of you sitting there just making a phone. You hope mom and dad, you hope you don't have enough family to stay in this business the rest of your life if they even buy from you. Okay. Most family and friends aren't going to buy from you. And by the way, just don't take that one personal, anybody watching, because nobody tells the truth to all their friends and family. So that's why they don't hire you, by the way. They just don't want you to feel bad or say something to somebody else. That's it. They're not mad.
That's funny. Well, John, I've been following you for some time, liking and loving your stuff, but it was an absolute pleasure actually getting to talk to you. And I look forward to another one of these. So thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. I'm sorry if I go a little off topic here and there. One of these
You're
days I'll
good,
write this
man.
stuff down.
You're good. I loved it, and I'm sure people will enjoy it. Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
you. Thank you, brother.
Thanks.